WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cash Matlock. We begin on a somber note tonight as Monroe County mourns the loss of a deputy sheriff following a Saturday night accident. Coroner Alan Gurley confirms Deputy Dylan Pickle died from his injuries at a Tupelo hospital. Gurley says Pickle was struck by a car as he and other deputies were conducting a safety checkpoint at the intersection of Hamilton Road and Seeley Drive. He was transported to NMMC Tupelo, where he died during surgery at 12:01 a.m. from head trauma. While Monroe County mourns the loss of Deputy Pickle, the community is pulling for the recovery of injured Deputy Zach Wilbanks. Wilbanks is the other deputy hit Saturday night and taken to North Mississippi Medical Center. According to family members, Zach Wilbanks went through surgery Sunday to repair fractures to his femur and fibula. The deputy will go through physical rehab but is expected to make a full recovery. MHP is investigating the incident. One person is charged with murder after an argument leads to a shooting in Columbus last night. Coroner Greg Merchant says that 32-year-old Desi Shepard died after being shot in a home on Springdale Drive. Police say the suspect was arrested on scene, that is, by Columbus police. Chief Fred Shelton says the incident is still under investigation, but it appears the suspect and victim knew each other. Police do not expect any other arrests will be made in the case. A Caledonia man dies after a Saturday afternoon motorcycle accident. Coroner Greg Merchant says 37-year-old Michael Williams was struck by a passenger car on 45 North in front of Walmart while riding his motorcycle. Williams was transported to Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Employees with the city of Tupelo mourn the loss of their colleague and grant writer for the city, Terry Blizzard. In a statement released earlier today, Mayor Jason Shelton announced that Blizzard lost her battle with COVID-19 Saturday at North Mississippi Medical Center. Just 2 weeks ago, Blizzard tested positive for COVID-19, prompting the 72-hour closure of City Hall. All City Hall employees were tested, and all tests came back negative. Mayor Shelton says this is because Blizzard was dedicated to wearing a face mask and protecting others. Blizzard was described as an integral part of the city's administration with a stellar work ethic. The press release concluded with Shelton urging all citizens to be vigilant and take precautions regarding the spread of COVID-19. Well, the Mississippi State Department of Health reports 1,207 new cases of COVID-19 with 15 new deaths. There are 184 active outbreaks among long-term care facilities within the state. The total number of cases since March 11th now stands at more than 52,000, with more than 1,400 total deaths. It's presumed that more than 30,000 Mississippians have recovered from the virus. Well, 2 state medical groups are making recommendations on school reopening plans. The Mississippi chapter of American Academy of Pediatrics and the Mississippi State Medical Association issued a joint statement Saturday. In it, the groups say that schools should make every effort to safely open in person this fall, but they also offer recommendations for reopening that give families options. The groups say that they advocate delaying the start of school to at least September 1st to give schools sufficient time to implement mitigation strategies. They also recommend requiring masks for everyone in school buildings, regardless of age. And finally, they believe that all children should have the option for virtual learning without medical justification. Both groups say that young children do not appear to be super spreaders of COVID-19, but other children and teenagers may be able to spread it the same as adults.
We dodged the rain today here in downtown Columbus, but on the time lapse from the Alpha Insurance Camera Network, you can actually see one little storm firing off to the north of West Point and then quickly dying off, leaving us with a really beautiful sunset there around 8 o'clock here in Lowndes County and the Golden Triangle. There are just a few very isolated sprinkles across the area tonight. In general, I think for the rest of the night, we're dry. 73 for the low, staying pretty mild with a light and variable wind and just a few high clouds passing on through here. If you're planning your week, we do have some changes coming up. We're looking for more and more rain chances, especially by Wednesday and Thursday. As a matter of fact, some of that rain could be on the heavier side. 1 to 3 inches of rain in spots could lead to some localized flash flooding, maybe even some gusty winds and small hail. The good news is the increased rain chances do help to knock our temperatures down just a few degrees, and it won't be quite as humid here as we get into next weekend. I've got more details in that full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. Cash?
All right, thanks, Trevor. U.S. Representative John Lewis made history again Sunday as a procession of mourners, Alabama state troopers, and hundreds of others guided his horse-drawn casket across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma one last time. CBS News correspondent Michelle Miller is there.
Applause and cheers broke out as a horse-drawn carriage brought John Lewis's casket over the Edmund Pettus Bridge for a final crossing. Lewis, an advocate for nonviolent protest, returned to the bridge annually, sometimes with U.S. presidents, to remind the world that the search for racial justice is not finished.
Today, when you walk arm in arm across this bridge, no one would beat us.
In March 1965, it was on this bridge, named after a Confederate Army general and Ku Klux Klan leader, that Lewis suffered a concussion and fractured skull at the hands of state troopers and others. But Lewis came out of that conflict more determined than ever to make change. On this crossing, members of Lewis's family wore T-shirts saying, "Good trouble." The phrase guided the congressman and those he mentored throughout his decades-long career on Capitol Hill and his years at the forefront of the civil rights movement.
He's laid out the blueprint for us to pick up the baton and continue his march for voting rights, for civil rights, for human rights.
And in sharp contrast to that day 55 years ago, Alabama state troopers saluted Lewis's flag-draped casket. They helped load it onto the hearse that traveled to Montgomery, where Lewis was to lie in state Sunday at the Capitol. Michelle Miller, CBS News, Selma, Alabama.
Representative Lewis will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol this week before his private funeral on Thursday at Atlanta's famed Ebenezer Baptist Church, where the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. preached. Well, back here locally, food delivery services have been busy over the past few months as more people stay home for convenience and safety, but drivers in college towns are preparing for busier days and nights as students come back to town. Our Savannah Gato has more on how businesses in Starkville are preparing for the wave of students. Savannah.
Delivery services help us keep our distance and lower the chances of getting or spreading germs. Businesses I talked to say they will continue the extra safety measures as businesses kick into high gear in the next couple of weeks.
I mean, of course we're going to have new precautions. There's going to be new guidelines to follow than there was last year. I do think that business will pick up because this is a college town and we depend on the college here in the town. But I don't think that it's going to be like normal for a long time.
John Bass says drivers with his delivery service, Lazy Guys, have always taken safety measures to protect their customers. He says the threat of COVID-19 has made it more important than ever, and a busy spring and summer has prepared them for what they expect will be a bustling fall.
Well, I mean, we've been as busy as ever without the students here. So, you know, with their return, we expect that we're going to be busier than we've ever been, which means we'll be bringing on more drivers. You know, we'll be ready for the influx of business.
And more business means more safety precautions.
So really we're just going to double down on the things that we were already doing. Offering no contact deliveries, drivers will be wearing face masks, carrying hand sanitizer, taking all the precautions that we can, not only to ensure our customer safety, but you know, the drivers want to ensure their own safety as well.
Jonathan Howard, a general manager of McAllister's in Starkville, says his employees know the start of the fall semester at Mississippi State will bring more customers.
And I think that once you know, students start coming back, they're going to want box lunch options and things like that to feed a ton of people, but not, you know, necessarily where they have to get up and be around all in the same room. You can just pass out a box lunch and be in the next office with, you know, from someone and enjoy your lunch, and everyone still gets fed. So I do think that our catering business will keep going.
You know, there's a big push for everybody to come back to school, so we're just kind of wait and see, but we're definitely prepared for whatever happens.
Both Lazy Guys and McAllister's make sure they are following all of the guidelines to ensure the customers and employees are as safe as they can be.
Well, Trevor has a brand new Weatherwise after the break. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
Welcome back, everyone. When you head outside into the summer sun, you know that you should always apply sunscreen to protect your skin. But have you ever wondered why sunscreen is so important and how it works? Well, meteorologist Trevor Burchett has the details in this week's Weatherwise. Take a look.
We've all gotten one or two bad sunburns in our lifetimes, and usually after the second time, we never forget to apply sunscreen again. But how does a little bit of lotion protect a burn? Well, to start out, let's look at why the sun is so strong in the summer months. Earth is actually tilted at 23.5 degrees, which is what causes our seasons. In the summer months, the northern hemisphere is tilted closer to the sun, which means we have higher sun angles and more radiation coming in from the sun. In the wintertime, we're tilted a little bit farther away, which helps us to lower the amount of radiation, which is why most of us don't burn in the wintertime. But back to preventing sunburn. Sunscreen is made up of several chemicals, including zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, which both reflect the radiation away from the skin. Other chemicals are used to absorb some of the sunlight before it can reach your skin. Those two combined help to block most of the harmful radiation from the sun to hitting your skin. Now, using sunscreen doesn't mean you won't tan, it just means you won't burn as easily. Most scientists recommend a sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher, and also that you should reapply every 90 minutes while you are in the sun. And remember, if you have a question about the sun or the weather or any other weather phenomenon, let me know by sending an email to us, weather@wcbi.com. You can also message us on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, I'm meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Weatherwise is brought to you by Fort County Electric Power Association. WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Hey, if you're planning on washing the car in the next couple of days, I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. Hold off on that for at least the next week or so. Pop-up showers and storms remain possible for tomorrow and Tuesday, but I think we see more widespread rain by the middle and end portion of the week. So maybe by next Sunday or Monday you can wash and be dry rain-wise for the next couple of days. But for right now, best bet is to hold off on the car wash with all these rain chances out there. Here's a live look at what's going on radar. Not a whole lot, to be honest with you. We were tracking one little shower that came through Houston just a little bit ago up towards Pontotoc. All this junk you see down here, that's just ground clutter from the radar site in Jackson. No rain actually hitting the ground. There is some shower and thunderstorm activity up near Memphis, but as of right now, doesn't look like any active rainfall here in the WCBI viewing area. So let's get you to your tropical update where things are a little more active. As you know, Hurricane Hannah made landfall yesterday in South Texas. It has now made its way into northern Mexico and basically started to fall apart. Still some heavy rain and gusty winds down there, but as of right now, it has weakened below tropical storm strength and is now just a remnant low. But now our eyes are turning out to the east. Our next tropical system coming off the coast of Africa has a 90% chance of developing here in the next 5 days. If it does, it would become tropical storm or hurricane Isaias and could eventually move toward the United States. So something to watch here in the next couple of weeks. And a little interesting note for you, this satellite image that you're seeing is actually last updated at 2 p.m. The satellite up in space actually broke earlier today, and as far as they can tell, there's something wrong with the actual satellite. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get some data back on this because this is going to be vital to tracking these tropical storms and hurricanes here over the next several months. Tonight, locally, I'll leave in a chance for a 20% chance of a shower or a storm. Really, though, I think we're dry for the rest of the night. We'll stay partly cloudy to mostly cloudy with temperatures falling down into the low 70s. Tomorrow, basically copy and paste today. Once again, 91 for the high. Pretty warm and humid with the chance for some afternoon showers and storms. I'll show you what that looks like on future clouds and radar. We wake up partly cloudy, but through the day, clouds build in just like they did today. By about 1 or 2 tomorrow afternoon, there's some chances of some showers and storms. That continues through about 9 or 10 o'clock before they kind of fade out for the overnight hours. And then once again on Tuesday, clouds build in through the day and the chance for some afternoon showers and storms. But I think by the time we get toward Wednesday, we get a little more active with the rain chances. We have the stationary boundary just to our north, and that's going to kind of act like a conveyor belt here. Wednesday through the weekend, system after system going to come through here with better chances for some widespread showers and storms. Basically, a better chance for everybody to get a little wet by the afternoon. This low pressure system moves in here by Thursday, bringing us even more chances for some showers and storms. So we're going to keep pretty good rain chances in here, 70% for Wednesday, 60% through the weekend. Here's what that looks like on the AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Pop-up showers and storms for the next couple of days. As I mentioned, better rain chances Wednesday through Saturday. As of right now, it looks like we might start to dry out by Sunday. We'll leave in a chance of an isolated shower or storm. Good news is we stay a little cooler, highs only in the 80s. WCBI News at 10 continues right after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny usually visit once a year, but the Tooth Fairy could show up a lot more often. Today on Mom to Mom, a fun project to make those visits even more exciting. Take a look.
Today on Mom to Mom, we're going to show you a fun project to get your little one excited about the Tooth Fairy. My 11-year-old son recently lost a couple of teeth in 1 week, which made my 5-year-old get super excited about the Tooth Fairy. So when I came across this Tooth Fairy pillow, it was absolutely perfect for him. So what you're going to need is some felt, some scissors, some fun decorations like googly eyes, maybe some hair bows depending on if you have a son or a daughter, maybe some puffy paint, a glue gun, and your creativity. So I found this pattern online, printed it out, and of course now you're going to stick it on the felt and trace it, then you're going to cut it out. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you cut everything out. So we've got this fun little toothbrush right here that we made. We cut a little piece of felt and then I rolled it up, hot glued it, but make sure you cut it all out first. Then we're going to hot glue it. So there's several different ways that you can do this. You can create a little pocket and put it on the back of the pillow, or you can slip the tooth in, or you can leave a little room at the top where you can put the tooth in and the Tooth Fairy can come in and put some money right there. This actually makes it a lot easier to find as well. Every family is different, every Tooth Fairy is different, so you really want to get creative and find what works best for you. Moms, my kids really had a good time with this, and I'm sure yours will too, but if you've got those traditions that you would like to share, we would love to hear them. You could post it to our Facebook page, and we'll see you on the next Mom to Mom.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb. WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
The Starkville Academy Volunteers have unfinished business to take care of in the 2020 season. The Volunteers made it to the 2019 5A state title game, however, came up short against arch rival Heritage Academy 55-10. Now, Starkville Academy is ready to return and bring a gold ball back home with them this time.
See a young group like last year with such seasoned seniors who've been around for so long and had won a championship in 17, those seniors are going to leave a huge legacy. They're going to leave a huge, they set the bar high, which is what every senior group should do, because we weren't supposed to win a game. We went from not winning a game to playing for a state championship. And that's what those seniors are going out and do, and that's what the seniors coming in have to do. They have to set the bar higher and higher and higher. And the only way you're going to do that is through hard work and continue to get better every single day.
Now that a bunch of Nicholson's team has seen a state championship game, he says it makes it that much easier to find a way to return.
It's exciting for the young guys to get to experience that. It's exciting for our team to get to experience that, because you know what it tastes like. And anytime you can have that taste, you want to taste it again.
Well, some of the seniors in their freshman year made it to the state championship and they won. And us last year, we lost, so we know which one we want to do.
Although the Volunteers are eager for the taste of gold in their mouths, Nicholson said his team can't focus on a state championship appearance.
It's just going to be week to week, and we have to beat Lamar before we move into week 2. So we can't worry about who we're going to play or we're going to play. If we start doing that, we're going to miss the moment, and that's how teams don't get back, when they focus on the end results and not how to get there. We know the path, what it looks like. We have no idea what path we're going to land on. We just know when we get on it what that looks like to get to a championship. We've got to find that path, and it starts with the first step at Lamar.
Don't look back, always look forward, and keep working.
Nicholson always stresses to his team a next man up mentality, saying the team's depth keeps the Volunteers competitive year after year.
But we don't ever rebuild. We're always reloading. That's just our mentality, because we want to be competitive immediately. We're not looking to take years off.
Yeah, we're not a team from last year. We have more talent. New players that come in and work every day.
Starkville Academy begins the road back to a state championship against Lamar on August 21st. With the Volunteers on the high school football tour, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Starkville Academy is brought to you by CB&S Bank of Starkville and Oktibbeha County Co-op.
Keep that umbrella on standby this week. Chances for rain and storms continue, but before we go tonight, we want to bid a fond farewell to one of our production assistants, Andrew. He is the one tonight making sure you are hearing us and getting your audio signal out clearly. He's been with us for a number of years here now. He is a wonderful asset to the team, and we are Very sad to lose him, but we know he is going to be on to do bigger and better things. We'll be following him and wishing him the best along the way.
That's right, Trevor. It's such a shame that the folks at home, they don't get to see Andrew at work. They just see me and you, but He does so much behind the scenes.
A rock star.
Anytime we, close the show, he comes up with those creative shots. So thanks, Andrew, and thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.